Hi, the Night Confession channel is with you. Welcome. On my channel, I talk about women's stories that my subscribers send me.
Part 1. Behind the Curtains. I never thought a theater could become a trap. For me, it was a place where I volunteered just to escape the monotony of everyday life. My husband was busy with his business, rarely at home, and our son, already in high school, spent more and more time on his own. I felt like a stranger in my own house. The theater smelled of dust and wood. Old costumes hung on racks, and the stage felt like a place where other people's lives came alive. For the first time in a long while, I felt like I could breathe again. That's where I met him, the director, a man in his mid-40s with tired yet vivid eyes. His voice filled the hall. He had the power to make people listen. When he looked at me, it felt as though I, too, became part of that big, vibrant world. At first, it was simple conversations about books, about plays, about the meaning of art. Then came the lingering glances, the smiles only we understood. I would return home realizing I was not thinking about my family, but about how tomorrow I'd see him again. Part 2. Rehearsals. He often asked me to stay after rehearsals, to help gather props, sort costumes, discuss details of the play. The whole theater would fall silent, empty, and only we remained in the dim glow of the spotlights. His words sounded like music, and I caught every intonation. I didn't notice how our communication changed. His hand would brush mine by accident. His gaze lingered longer than politeness allowed. I laughed at his jokes, though at home I had long forgotten what it meant to laugh sincerely. One evening, he said, "You don't realize how alive you are. With you, the stage breathes differently." Those words stuck inside me. I came home and my husband, as always, sat behind his laptop, talking business with partners. I tried to start a conversation, but he only nodded without looking away from the screen. And that's when I realized, there, in the theater, I existed. Here, I was just a shadow. Part 3. The first scene without an audience. It happened so naturally that I barely had time to be afraid. That evening, he asked me to stay. We had to check the lighting and props before the premiere. The hall was empty, rows of chairs loomed like silent witnesses. We stood on stage, and he spoke about how important it was to feel the space, as if the stage wasn't just a place, but an entire world. His voice was low, steady. Then he fell silent, stepped closer, and suddenly touched my cheek. "You understand me without words," he said. "With you, I feel alive." It all happened quickly. His lips found mine, and I answered. It was not a kiss of passion, but of release. Suddenly, I felt that the entire world, my exhaustion, my doubts had vanished. Only he and I remained. Afterward, we sat in the wings in silence, holding hands. I knew we had crossed the line. There was no going back. Part 4. Secret roles. Our meetings became a secret play. By day, I was a wife and mother. By night, I was an actress in someone else's drama, my role written by desire. Every glance he gave me during rehearsals felt like a touch. Every conversation was like a confession. We met more often, in empty dressing rooms, behind the curtains, in the hidden corners of the theater where no one went. I laughed. I lived. I felt like a woman again, not just part of someone's household. But with each meeting, my anxiety grew. I increasingly caught my husband's gaze filled with suspicion. He said nothing, but I knew he sensed it. And yet, I couldn't stop. The theater became more than just a workplace. It was my refuge, and I sank deeper into this world of illusions, fully aware that sooner or later, reality would catch up with me. Part 5. The Exposure. Autumn came quietly, and with it, unease. I often felt the walls closing in, that our secret couldn't last forever. One evening, after performance, my husband was waiting for me outside the theater. His gaze was cold, and in his hands he held my phone. He knew everything. "You lied to me," he said softly, but in his voice there was more pain than if he had shouted. All this time, I couldn't utter a word. Inside, everything collapsed. Behind him, I saw our son. He stood motionless, his eyes filled with confusion and horror. The world fell apart in a single minute. The theater, the stage, his embrace, all vanished. Only the truth remained, naked and merciless. Part 6. The Loss. My husband packed his things in one night and left. He took our son with him. I stayed in the empty house where the walls smelled of makeup and secrets. He, the actor, my forbidding man, tried to comfort me, but I couldn't look at him anymore. What once was passion had turned into poison. I lost not only my husband and family, I lost myself. The theater, once my joy, became my prison. Every scene, every whisper backstage reminded me that I had destroyed everything I had. Epilogue. A year has passed. I still work at the theater, but now the roles feel hollow. In the eyes of the audience, I see the stories I lost myself. My husband lives with our son in another city. Sometimes I receive photos, school celebrations, smiles, without me. I write this to confess. Betrayal doesn't always lead to freedom or happiness. Sometimes it's the beginning of the end. After the passion, only emptiness remained. I cheated backstage at the theater, and I lost everything.
Thanks for your viewing. The best gift from you will be a like and a subscription.